Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. Today we're going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph, or HBAR if you will. So as you guys already know, HBAR is my number one hold. HBAR is, in my opinion, the best asset to hold right now in the market because it is one of the only assets, in my opinion, that is severely undervalued at critical levels, and it's also at pretty much 2x its all-time high. So, from here, you could pretty much say, hey, yeah, we'll most likely 2x. Not only that, but it is one of the most legitimate projects out there in this space right now, doing incredible things, accomplishing incredible things. It's just that the price action hasn't followed yet. And I'm just going to say this right now. This is one of those assets, and I'm going to show you guys some examples in this video. Actually, I'm going to show you two. And the reason why I say that this is one of those assets where a lot of people, are getting tiresome of it, they're growing, impatient. I love to see that personally. And I've told you guys that so many times before, because when people grow tired of waiting for an asset to break out, usually that is when it has its most incredible price action ensue. So, with that being said, let's refresh this. Let's look at the market. Currently down about 2.47%, sitting at about 2.05% or $2.05 trillion market cap. Sorry about that. We do see Bitcoin down about roughly almost 4%, and most altcoins are following it as well. As we do see XRP even break down to $1.10 for the support zone being broke. So, let's scroll down. Let's see HBAR. I understand that we have dropped significantly, sitting at about almost 3% down. We broke below the 25-cent range, which is totally fine. We're going to actually address the chart here shortly, but I just want to say things are still boiling up. Things are still looking good. No concern, really. I think that this is the last overall pinpoint. Like I said, I've been waiting for a major pullback in the market. I think that that is what we're getting right now. I'm looking to buy the dip very soon here. I'm just waiting for a little bit more price action to play out before I do validate me buying in. We could even see some more, volatile price action play out throughout the week, as today is Monday. So I'm going to wait and see to see what actually truly occurs. So with that being said, let's just jump into it. So I'm going to be comparing two altcoins to HBAR. Those two altcoins are going to be Solana and also Polygon or Matic. So I've compared Matic to HBAR multiple times before. Polygon or Matic is one of my main holdings as well. It's in my top, I want to say top 5, but I don't think it is in my top 5 anymore. I think it's in my top 10 now, as I have been accumulating heavily on some low altcoin gems. So Matic is still one of my main holdings. I think it is one of my most profitable holdings right now currently as well. But we do see that I remember specifically when I was telling people about it back in February and also even in the beginning of March. I was telling a lot of people that I was talking to at the time about Matic. Now, at this point, I actually wasn't doing YouTube. I wasn't making any YouTube videos, but I was telling a lot of people in some Discords about it, as well as telling some of my friends about it. Don't know if any of them listened, but hey, if you did, you'd be in great profit right now. But I remember it jumping up to about 54 cents, and I was like, wow, this thing is moving extremely fast. Now, here's where I really started to talk about it on Twitter as well. I said, let's look for a lower buy zone. We pretty much dropped all the way down to about 29 cents. Now, this took 44 days to fully play out. Nothing too long, actually, at all. Before we had that major breakout all the way up to about almost $3. Now, the reason why I think that this is, a similar case to HBAR is that this has been 44 days since it's made its all-time high, right? So this was its all-time high at that pinpoint before we finally broke out of it here after 44 days. Now, what ended up happening after the case was from that lowest printed candle to the top here, it was roughly about an 840% of an increase in price. Now we are in a very long consolidation of about 103 days before the next major move on Matic, which I do think will be the end point for Polygon or Matic's overall price range. Now, The reason why I talk about this is because we have been playing into an eerily similar move in terms of a major consolidation. And I do think that this is the beginning state for HBAR where we will have that major breakout, slight pullback, and then have another major run. Now again, Solana kind of did the same thing, right? So we do see the all-time high being targeted here. Now this didn't consolidate for too long before the next major move up. Before it actually broke out, it was only about 31 days, and this ended up in a fairly nice overall profit point because at the high, it was still about almost a 400% of an increase in price. Now, of course, I do think that it was ready to do something that we just did before Bitcoin kind of crashed the party. So I think that we are in store for something like this same run that Solana just did. Now, all credit goes to Credible Crypto for pointing this out pretty much a few weeks ago. But I'm not going to, take anything from him overall. I think that this is a great comparison, though, if we actually look into things, which is consolidation time to that major run up. For an example, this was an 86-day consolidation, which led to a major breaking point. Just to give you guys an insight, from the lowest printed candle to that high, it was a 500% of an increase in price. Now, I'm just going to say it right now. This was a massive move. If we actually look here, that is nothing to disregard, especially on the weekly. If we actually look at the weekly chart, just look at the weekly chart for Solana. It's an absolute beast in the making. But again, it still printed that same sort of move where it was a high mixed with some consolidation. Same goes for HBAR, right? So realistically, we have been riding the 200-day MA. We still are. Totally looks good. Nothing too crazy. But look at how long this has been consolidating for without a major breakout. I'm just telling you guys right now, this is going to be one that is going to be worth the wait because the next breaking point on this is going to be an absolute massive move. 170 days of consolidation. I'm telling you, that is nothing to disregard, especially in regards to the fact that, all time this year alone, so let's actually go to the price range. So this year alone, we've already done about roughly 1,500%. So yeah, we needed to come down and, retrace a little bit, which I think we already did here. So I think this entire run, we already had our healthy pullback. And I think that we are ready to run here, which I've already said multiple times on this channel, before Bitcoin kind of ruined the party, similar to Solana. It ruined the party, right? And then it had to consolidate for a little bit more time. Now, obviously, this resulted in a 500% pump after about roughly 84 days. We are at nearly double that on HBAR. So I think from here, we could pretty much, look at things from an eye-open view where, if we do a similar run, say for so we do 1,000% of an increase in price, right? So at 1,000% of an increase in price from here, and I do think that we still go higher, but I'm just saying 1,000% from here is about $2.70. Then we'll most likely have that nice pullback range where we will have, something like maybe a 20% pullback, maybe even come down and retest $2 to have a 24, almost 25% pullback, and then we will go on to our last final leg. Now this would all take place in between November and January. I do think that that is pretty much the time where we do top out on with HBAR. Still a lot of news in regards to Q4 to get released with HBAR, so a lot of the news could play into the idea of FOMO and massive breakouts for HBAR. Still, price action is nothing too incredible, like I said, but we have been riding the 200-day MA on that upward trend. Still, things look pretty good overall. I'm not going to disregard the idea that the chart doesn't look, pretty good, because it does, especially on the weekly. Sorry if you guys can't really see anything. On the weekly, it looks like it printed a nice bull flag. Looks like we are ready to do something here, whatever it is. For example, an invalidation pinpoint to the bottom would be about 23 cents. A major breakout to the upside would be about 30 cents. So realistically, we need to break out of 30 cents or we need to break below 23 cents. Obviously, I don't want to see us break below 23 cents, but that would be the overall move to watch for right now, especially in regards to HBAR's next price movement. Now, I already said on my Twitter, I said, Solana's run is an example of why you remain patient during long consolidation periods. I even said, want to know what is one of my or the longest consolidating assets that I've been keeping an eye on for a while? HBAR. You already know it. My number one hold and largest bag consolidating for nearly 170 days. I'm telling you guys, in my opinion, right? I think once we break this all-time high, we're going to see a similar run like Solana's, where it's just a massive run. I mean, this is something to not disregard in terms of an asset. Like, there's a lot of assets like Solana that are doing similar moves. Right now, even Luna is doing incredibly well. And I do think that this is the idea that, listen, this is going to tell us that we are still in an overall alt season. We actually see that even here, right? This service is declaring that it's a crypto alt season again because altcoins are pretty much ripe to run. There's a lot of strength with, Bitcoin versus altcoins right now. Altcoins are kind of disconnecting, kind of doing their own thing. I don't think that that's necessarily the case just yet, but I do think that we are ranging to have a massive alt season still. Nothing really invalidated us having that, bear market, if you will. Now, I do think that where does the time shine for Hedera's Hashgraph or Hedera Hashgraph's overall pinpoint or pinnacle success where we do launch? That will most likely be in September. It will be September into November, around that time period, where we will actually see the major price action ensue on HBAR. Again, guys, I'm still very bullish because this is the same pattern, like this whole consolidation pattern is the same for most altcoins. And everybody keeps still saying, like, HBAR is not moving. HBAR is not moving, right? But the key aspect here is that all altcoins do the exact same thing. They consolidate before that next major breakout. Some are shorter, some are longer. I'm just going to say it right now. Those that consolidate longer, guess what ends up happening? They have a much higher breakout point. Same even goes for XRP during the 2017-2018 bull run. It's just the idea that we need to watch closely on price action and see what is validated or invalidated. So with that being said, still very bullish on HBAR. I still think, realistically speaking, we have a lot of news that still needs to get released in terms of GC members and even Q4 updates. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys don't want free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.